All right, so what's poppin', Big Headed Fam? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode. Now, I got a highly anticipated interview with my boy, Tone Capone. Everybody been asking about him, so I'm going to give y'all a little insight on his life. So, first of all, Tone, man, where'd you grow up at, P?
Stockton.
Okay, so how was it for you growing up in Stockton? I know it's wild out there. A lot of people say it's crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on. You know, you see a lot, fights, people arguing, all kinds of stuff, drama.
Okay, so did you have a two-parent household growing up?
No, my parents, they got split up, stuff like that.
Okay, how did that affect you coming up, man?
Yeah, that affected me, a little bit, but I try not to let it, but, it did because, didn't do good in school.
Why do you feel like you didn't do good in school? Because you didn't have them there as a support system, or you just had that resentment that they wasn't there, period?
Just didn't have no, support. And then, how you say, nobody tell me to go to school, stuff like that.
Okay, so did you have any siblings?
Yeah, I got 3 brothers and 2 sisters.
Okay, so was they all at your grandma's house, or how was that? Was there?
Matter of fact, it's 4 brothers, 2 sisters.
Okay, was they all at Gram's house?
Nah, this me and my sister.
Okay, so going to school, man. I mean, you was going to school with your sister and stuff like that. So how was that for you?
It was cool, This I didn't really like school, so I used to get kicked out, fights, stuff like that.
Now I hear a lot of kids always say things like this, like they didn't like school. What about school didn't you like, man?
I just didn't like the part there where you always get picked. The people that didn't like the stuff, they got picked out to do the stuff. Like, if you didn't like to read, you had to read out loud, or if you didn't like to do something, you had to do something.
Okay. So tell me about how life started spiraling out of control for you. At that age?
Just getting into a lot of fights, getting suspended, stuff like that. Not wanting to go to school.
Why do you feel like you didn't want to go to school?
Cause I wasn't learning. I wasn't getting taught right.
Okay. So I know you got into a situation later on in life to where you got kicked out of school.
Yeah, I got kicked out of school. I got kicked out of all Stockton Unified.
How'd that happen?
Got into a fight, he hit me, I hit him, and then basically got kicked out of Stockton Unified.
So break it down, like, cause that got to be a big situation. What happened, like, leading up to that event? What happened to make him hit you, you hit him?
Also, I was coming out of math class, and then I went to lunch, and then as soon as I got to lunch, I don't know, something was going on. Maybe he thought I was looking at him or something. He hit me, and then I hit him, and it was over after that.
Okay. So one of those situations, like little schoolyard stuff.
Yeah, little stuff that happens at school, nothing major.
Okay, so how do you feel like going forward, that changed your life? Once you got kicked out of Stockton Unified, where'd you go? Did you drop out? Did you?
No, I had to go to one continuation school. So I went right there on Center Street, right there by McDonald's. Yeah.
So how did that affect your life differently from Stockton Unified?
It affected it a lot because you only go to school, they cut it in half, so you only go to school for like either 3 hours or 4.
So do you feel like going to school for 4 hours you had more time to get into other things?
No, it's less because I got taught less. So basically you'll just get they'll give you a little packet you got to take home, and that was basically your credits. So it was basically they were giving you lesser, so you wasn't learning much.
Okay, so do you feel like that gave you more time to get into like things in the streets and started taking you down a different path?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's when you start, getting into more fights, going to parties, smoking, drinking.
So how was that like getting into fights and going to parties after that? Like, do you feel like that you getting kicked out and not having the parents around that directly influenced that, or was that just a path that you were already on?
And that's the stuff that you see growing up in Stockton. You see everybody want to party, drink, smoke, you know what I mean? So you want to do the same thing. So you basically trying to be a follower. So I was a little bit of follower at once, so now I'm trying to be a leader, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I can feel it. So growing up, like say 12th grade, how was your life like right there?
Yeah, it was bad. I wasn't going to school. I was trying to find myself, I guess, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So in these years, did you feel like, you you had anything to look forward to, or how did you play any sports, or what was life like?
Yeah, I played some sports, but didn't really like it because nobody didn't come to show support.
Okay, so it's the parent issue.
Yeah.
Okay, I can feel it. So around this age, 18 years old, 19 years old, did you ever get into like any usage?
Yeah, that's when Thizzles was out.
Okay, them thizzles, them crazy thizzles, man. A lot of people was off them thizzles. So, I mean, how did that make you feel when you was at the parties, and what was you doing off that hype?
You was partying, turning up, drinking, mixing it all, dancing, and having fun.
So did you ever get into any encounters with the police department, any bad things like that?
Yeah, one time, stuff like that. I was walking down the street, just trying to be bad little kids, breaking into cars, stuff like that.
And what happened? Did you get arrested or?
Yeah, I got arrested, but then they didn't have enough evidence, so I got out.
Okay, so basically you was breaking in the car or trying to steal the car, man. Keep it real.
Yeah, breaking into cars, stealing cars, same stuff.
Okay, so where'd you pick up on those habits?
Just from seeing it around people doing it.
Okay, so that's some stuff you learned in Stockton?
Yeah, that's stuff you be seeing a lot.
Okay, so did you ever get in any more encounters with the police? Like you ever get arrested again, or they ever pull you over or anything like that in that time frame?
Nah, sometimes they'll pull you over though. They'll say like, oh, they pulled me over like one time. They was like, oh, they said I looked like a gang member, stuff like that.
Okay, so were you in a gang back then?
Nah.
Okay, so wait a minute. So how'd you not get negatively influenced by a gang?
How you say this? I don't know. My uncle, seeing what they went through, stuff like that, just seeing everything what everybody goes through, made me not want to do that.
Okay, that's smart. So you stayed out of it. You kept your own, your head in the right place. I see what you mean. That's smart. So I know you got a brother, two brothers actually, they passed away. You know what I mean? So I wanted to ask you about like how they was, in the background, you watching them. How were they coming up, seeing all the stuff that you were doing?
It affected them for sure. It was probably brought them up to be, not the right way, but sometimes everybody gets stirred the wrong way, or you get stirred the right way.
What kind of path did you see them on before, they ultimately met their demise?
They was going on the wrong path, hanging around the wrong people, not the right people. Because if they was hanging around the right people, they'll be still here right now.
Yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so what are some things like when you look back like that you could have stepped in at, and and do you feel like there was a change that you could have made? Because I know a lot of people have regrets, but do you have any regrets, or you feel like they was just on that path and there was no way to change it?
Yeah, they was just on that path. I try to do my best, as a brother, but you could only do so much,
I could feel it. Going forward, I mean, how is your life now today, man?
Man, it's cool now. I'm got my family, stuff like that, just trying to get through life.
You making better decisions?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so what's one thing you could tell the youth, going forward? Like, how could they change their life so they don't go down the same path as you? I know people have similar situations, so I want to know what's one thing you could tell the youth.
Just stay in school. Don't be no fool. Be a leader, not a follower. One day at a time. Just look up to people that inspire you. To do better things. Just the right people, not the wrong people.
Okay, and the drug usage. It's a lot of kids out here doing. A lot of people popping these. And I want you to give them a little bit of game on that. You know what I mean? I know you got a little insight. So what you think about a lot of these kids doing, man?
Man, it ain't cool. It doesn't look cool. It ain't gonna be cool when you 6 feet deep or however it goes. It ain't gonna be nice when when you lose somebody.
Facts.
And taking drugs.
Especially if you lose yourself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You pop something down your throat and that's it, man.
That's it. You ain't coming back.
Ain't no coming back, man. That's real talk, man. Well, hey, look, I thank you for rocking with me on this show, man. And, a lot of people want to know a little bit about you, you know what I mean? So we jumped into it right quick, you know what I mean? So thank you, Tone Capone. You know what I mean? Until the next one, y'all stay safe out there, man.
All right. See you guys later.